Welcome one and all to this 37th episode of D&D.
We think it's the 37th.
Fair enough. Let's go with that though. My name is Mike.
And my name is Zoe.
And today we are going to continue working on our game over screen, which, because it's been a few days, my brain just doesn't remember anything at all. So this is going to be fun. Game over manager, that looks promising. Let's go there. Okay, what's the situation? Setup game over, list podium columns, add, list podium players, add.
Podium player and podium column.
So, these must be templates. Where's the game over manager? It's nowhere. Oh, wait. There it is. Okay, so podium column template. Do we have a prefab for the podium column?
Are you sure?
Podium column, podium player. There they are. Wee. Okay, so I'm basically stalling because I have no idea what it is that I'm doing. I can't remember. Okay, column sizes, I remember this. So the smallest size to the highest possible size. Ah, right. We were doing all sorts of things in terms of determining who needs to go where, I think. So game over, setup game over. Okay, setup game over, here. Reset game over. Reset destroys all of the players, destroys blah blah blah, instantiates blah blah blah. That can't be it. I remember I was doing a lot more. Podium column, podium player. Oh boy. I have no idea.
We should have
Is it
made...
bad if I have no idea? Calculations. Test end game. Okay, that's promising too.
Calculate game over store. Score, not store.
Don't calculate the store. Okay,
And
so let me
get
read
game
through
over
this real quickly so I remember. So there's a dictionary for the order. That makes sense. Sorted IDs, sorted score, sorted ordinals. Okay, remember all of that. And I think that we're going to reverse them all, aren't we? Right here. Yes. And then we get that's where we increase which column they'll belong to. Okay, get game over score. Who calls this? Here, temp score. Okay, right, that's how we calculate that score, and the way we calculate it is by adding whatever points, whatever money we've got, and then we add who has the highest lap gets a higher multiplier, and the winning player gets a massive bonus, and then we return it. Okay, good. Yeah, that's a bit risky, the thing with the winning player though. Fairly sure people can break it, so we should probably put some kind of exception at some point. But anyway, so okay, we got the calculate game over score. Hit Control F. I don't know who calls this, but I'm guessing it's test end game. Yes. Change game state, game over. Okay, so we have all of the scores, and we'll assume that they're already correct because obviously we haven't tested that yet, and we're missing still loads of stuff. But we will assume that those are all reliable. So our lists that are all contained in the game manager should be truthful, these ones. So we should be able to simply follow them. Great. Alright, so back here, set up player count, set up the columns, set up the players. Okay, that's good. And now we're gonna have to actually go and set these guys up. So this one has a car ID. This one should probably have a podium. Does it matter? I don't think so. The car ID though is necessary to know which player it is that we're dealing with. So we're gonna have to rebuild. What's the podium player like? Okay, so it's a very simplified version of the car. Okay, that sounds good. I think we'd already tested this by putting the columns on the screen, etc.
Yeah, we did that.
Okay, so the first thing we're going to need to do is place those columns on the screen. Tell you what, it's going to be a bit of a pain to actually test this properly. So we are going to
because we have to finish the game.
That's right. No, we can't do that, right? Yeah. So let's really quickly go immediately and construct a debug tool for that. Okay. So, oh, blimey, our debug stuff isn't here. Look for debug. Oh, great. There they are. There are all these things. We should make some categories, shouldn't we? Shouldn't we? Shall we do it now? Let's do it. Let's put some order in our code. Put a square bracket. And now type header. Header. There it is. Open a round bracket. Open a quote. Now here's how I like to do it. I put 3 dashes, minus, 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 space. Type the word state in this case. Space. And now hold. Oh, you're pressing another key. Hold. Close the quote. Close the round bracket. Quote first, banana.
Oops.
Quote. Close the round bracket. Close the square bracket.
Oops.
No semicolons. Save. This is like pseudocode. It's a Unity thing. And now you'll see that when we go here, your game manager is going to have that at the top. Isn't that lovely? Okay, so let's copy this. So let's see, we got state, screens, splash time. It's a bit miscellaneous. I'm not really sure that this belongs here, but okay. Paste it here. This one's gonna be debug. Save. Okay. So paste it here. I'm gonna call this one infrastructure. Infrastructure. That's basically the stuff that you need in order for things to work. Save. So let's see what the situation is here, because I want to start putting some order in things. So state, screens, that's fine. Stuff that's related to screens, I suppose, can be here, but this looks like it belongs to the title specifically. So like it would belong to some kind of UI. Probably all of this would be UI. So paste it again and go UI here. But we may save. We may move this down later. We'll see. So let's look at our infrastructure. The board is definitely
This belongs to the dice.
Yeah, that's fine. So this definitely is infrastructure. Unoccupied tiles, that's fine here. Audio source for the tiles, that's fine here. Board materials, core materials, control points. That's definitely all infrastructure. Die wheels, it's probably infrastructure. So let's move it there. Here, paste it again and call this one rules. Yeah, but all caps. You want to be consistent. Save. You know, fine, whatever you do, just be consistent. So, look target, no. Cut this. This belongs in here, which is where the control points are. Paste. Okay, now control point, let's see, control points, curve, forward look target, backward look target, wait, look minimum distance, overtake jump speed. Okay, so cut these, paste them all here, save. Okay, overtake jump speed, overtake jump height, curve, overtake jump, that's fine, they can stay here. They're not exactly rules, but that's fine. So has rolled, this should belong into state. And maybe dice wheels, yeah, let's separate this infrastructure from the dice. So paste it again. Undo, no problem, no big deal. Copy,
this.
Paste, and here you go, dice. Okay, cut die wheels, paste it here, and now we are going to cut this, paste it here, cut this, this one goes into state, paste it here. Okay, now player count, this one is infrastructure, no question. Wait a moment, player template, list players, player color, player hexes, these go into rules, player color, yeah. Okay, so cut these, put them here, save. Now player colors, player color names, cut these and put them into rules, save. Cut these, or this rather, put it here. Alright. Now active player, that's state. Turn sequence, infrastructure, erase positions, infrastructure, list position sequence, erase position names, terms reversed. Okay, so cut this. We may get a little toddler to come into the room now. Hello, Andrew.
We're
Cut
recording.
This. Cut this. You gotta go, son. We're busy. Busy. Bye bye. Close the door, please. Okay. Now cut all of these. These go into infrastructure. Save. Alright, so it's getting a little bit more tidy now. A little bit more readable. So dice number, dice rolled, okay, yeah. Die faces, dice, cut. Paste. Save. Eee. Okay. Start score, this is definitely in rules. Target score is in rules. Lab score ratio is in rules. Game scores is probably in infrastructure, but we may leave it in rules just so it's close to the rest. PFX style, PFX names. So this, do it like this. And these, create a new category. Paste it here. Call this one cosmetics. Do you know what cosmetics are?
Makeup?
Yeah. What does makeup serve? What's the purpose of makeup?
To make you look pretty.
Well, to make you prettier than you actually are.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so you use particle effects and that sort of stuff to make the game look prettier, even though you're not doing anything real to it. That's what cosmetics are. Next. Text player scores. This is a Text Mesh Pro, so I think for Text Mesh Pro, even though it may belong in infrastructure, we should probably dedicate a new one to it. So let's create one more. Yeah, and call this one text. Save. Right, so we'll put all of the Text Mesh Pros here. Overlay duration, cut this, put this in rules. Oh, I forgot this one, and I guess this coroutine. Yeah, let's take coroutines don't belong in rules, that's for sure. Okay, so cut this, put it in infrastructure.
Again.
Cut this, paste it here, save. Did you save? I don't think you saved.
Sorry.
That's okay. So deck anchor, blah 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 blah. These are all deck related things. So let's create a new category near dice. So copy this.
Oh, sorry about that. Ah, there.
No, that was a C. I don't know that did it. Paste.
Yes, it did.
Did good. Deck. Andrew, go. Come on. Close the door. No, close the door, Andrew.
Deck.
Okay, sorry guys for the confusion. It's how it is when you have loads of kids. Okay, so cards, cut.
We don't have a cards.
Paste.
Oh,
Save.
deck is the cards, guys.
Okay.
It's still cards.
These are all states. Including cards to drawers, say. I don't know about what a point card is, but no, that should be infrastructure. So cut all of this and paste it here. I put one enter too many. Cut this. We're gonna put it in deck, even though it's infrastructural, but at least it's related to the deck.
Deck.
Cut this private card and put it here. Save. Okay, and now we've got all of these tiles. These are supposed to be back into, so list pariahs, list lol counts, all of this stuff needs to go into infrastructure. So cut this and let's go to infrastructure. Paste. Save. This was long overdue. This work. Okay, so wait a second. These are rules. Cut this and paste them here. Save. What's the situation here? So core routine joker stashes, stash, 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 stash. So this is a rule, but we'll just create a separate one for stashes. It's quite a lot of categories. Copy this.
Stop it then.
Just a moment, guys. Lilith, can you keep him out?
Trying to.
Well, you grab him. He's small.
Okay.
Against his consent. Do it. Bye. Okay. So what are we gonna do? I forget. What was it? Stashes.
Stashes.
Just stash will do. Yeah, stash. Okay. Cut this. Put it here. Save. Okay, we're getting close. All right, and this is game over stuff. Perfect. So now we're gonna. I think this is more important. So we're gonna put it. It's no more important than this though. Poor daddy. Okay, let's do it here. Copy this. Paste it here. Okay. Cut all of this.
It's still called stash.
Paste it here. Yeah, we'll rename it. Game over. Save. Okay, so some of these are rules. We didn't do a perfect job. Not even close, but you know. It's certainly better than it was before.
And so, we have a ton of spaces now to remove. There we go.
Save. Okay, so now this is how this is going to look like. And you see it's going to be substantially more readable.
John.
Wait, I think our friendly Dropbox.
Now we're going to write some...
Ready? Save. Save. Now it's gonna go, dude, you write wrong things. And I'm gonna go, I know. Save. Whoops, that's OBS. That's fine. There we go. There they are. Look at them. They are all here. Okay, so some of these categories are not appearing. Do you know why?
Why?
I'll take that as a no. Okay, so let's see which ones are not appearing. So we got state UI debug infrastructure. Those I saw. Dice. I didn't see dice. Yeah, it's not here. The reason why it's not appearing is because the first variable in the list is not visible in the inspector. So we can cut this, for example. Actually, no, undo. Cut these. Paste them here. Save. Now the first one's public, therefore it should appear right here.
Boop.
Hello. Okay, so dice, rules.
We didn't see deck.
Deck. There's no deck. That's because we got hide in inspector as the first element. So the car template sounds like a perfect one to put first. Undo once. Save. All right.
Oh, this guy will show.
There it is. Boom. Okay, so after that there's rules, then there's stash, game over, cosmetics, blah blah blah. So stash.
Cosmetics.
We're missing stash and game over. So stash simply needs this coroutine. Cut it. Put it at the bottom. I like coroutines at the bottom usually. Save. And now cut these two and place them here.
Oops, I copied the space.
Undo, undo, cut, and paste. Undo. Yeah. Save. Oh, save now. Okay. And now all of our categories should be displayed. Ta-ta! Awesome. All right. So.
Game left score mo.
So we set out to come here and deal with our debug. Now we're going to cut this debug category and put it all the way at the top. So it's always easy to access. Undo once. Save. Well, undo once, and then save. Now save. Okay. So we've got debug blah blah blah, debug blah blah blah, and create a serialized field, private bool endgame now. Debug underscore endgame. My bad. Debug underscore endgame. Semicolon.
Endgame.
I'm not sure why you wrote it this way. Put lowercase n, lowercase b. Save. Okay, copy this. Okay. And we're gonna go to hit Control MO. Okay. We're gonna go to update. There it is. Oh, we don't have an actual update here. Alright, well, we'll create one just for debug purposes. So right here, go void update. Open, close round, open squiggly, enter, close squiggly. Undo once. Okay, shift tab, save. Okay, now go if open round game state. I guess that's what we called it. Let's try game state. Always capital. It's extremely important that you do it always capital. Game state. There it is. Open, close. No, rather equals space tab dot gameplay, close round, open squiggly, enter, close squiggly, save. There you go. If open round, paste, close round, open squiggly, enter, close squiggly, shift tab, paste, equals false.
False.
Semicolon, save. Okay. And what we're going to do now is when we test endgame, how does it work? Okay, it requires a certain player ID, and we are going to say that it's always going to be player 0. Okay, just so we know it's always there. So we're going to say players. I think it's list of players. Yeah. Square bracket 0, close square bracket dot increment score. I think we called it. There it is. No. I guess it's local. Let's go take a look. Increment lol. Increment lap. Change score. Oh, that's fair enough. Really, it's not necessarily an increment. So change score. Open round, and wait, what did we call it? Target score. So we'll go target score. So we're giving 5,000 points to player 0 right away. Close round, semicolon. Yeah. And who calls test endgame? Is it the player's change score? Game update score texts. Oof, I hope it's not that guy doing the testing, but I have a sense that it is. There it is. No. Okay, Control F. Okay, it's when we move. So copy test endgame. Paste it here. Open round 0. Close round. Semicolon. Save. So what will happen? Every time we tick that variable, it will immediately untick itself, and then it will give a bunch of points to player 0, and then it will test the end game with player 0 as the victor.
Okay.
Save. So let's go quickly test if this works. And we'll see what happens in our game over screen. I guess nothing, but we'll see. Okay, so 4 players. Okay, I'm just going to immediately pause. You don't even need to pause, right? But it's maximizing. So there, now it's not maximizing. And now all you need to do is click this. Done. Well, I mean, some stuff has happened, right? So let's go take a look what has happened. Is this in perspective? No, it's ISO. Okay, so what have we got? We've got the players still remaining. That's an issue. We're gonna have to destroy them. Okay.
This is rotated the wrong direction.
What's rotated the wrong direction? Right. I don't know that we've managed the rotation yet to any degree. But we've got, let's see, 1 column, 2 columns, 3 columns, 4 columns, and 4 players. Where are these players? There is 1. There is 2. You see they're not set up to any degree? Right? That's because we still need to use these players before we destroy them. We need to get their information and pass them on to these. Okay? Coolio. Now, the problem with these players over here is that we can't really destroy them because we need to keep their information. So it doesn't make much sense to destroy them. But one thing we can definitely do is we can shut them up, right? So we can turn off everything in them.
Siren audio.
Oof, I don't know, man. This is an interesting question, you know, because there's a lot of stuff here that makes me think we may want to keep these players as opposed to having podium players.
And putting them on the thing.
Yeah, putting them on the podium directly.
But let's turn off the siren.
I don't know. I mean, in the end of the day, the winner having the siren on would be cool, and it's kind of a nice touch to see who was copper. So you would have like all sorts of lights everywhere. The only worry I have there is the failures. Like we could have a failure on 8 players. No, we support up to 16 pixel lights. So I think it will still work with 8 players. I think, but I'm not sure. Anyway, yes, so this is making me think that we ought to can the idea of the podium player altogether, and we can instead keep the normal player. I think that will be just fine. So, close the podium player script. I don't think you've ever done this before, but we're going to
delete the script.
And we're going to go podium player. We're going to go bye. And now it's going to go, no, what did you do? And here it's going to go reload the solution. Now it's thinking. Okay. Now we're going to go to our prefabs, find the podium player, and kill that.
Bye.
Goodbye. Now we're going to go to the game over manager, and we're going to change this to player. Actually, we don't even need, no, we don't need any of this.
We don't need any of that either.
This can go. This can go.
This can go, this can go, this can go.
Yeah. Goodbye. Goodbye. And
Good. Not everything.
Bye. Save. So let's see. Podium, player template. This goes. Column spacing, columns, blah blah. Right.
That's all for columns, and that can stay.
That can stay. Save. Okay. So now what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to relocate all of those players based on the list that we've got. So we're setting up the columns. The first thing we want to do is figure out how to set them up. So they're gonna need a certain size. We said we're gonna give them just a static size. Do they actually need a script of their own? Let's leave it here for now, but I suspect we're not gonna need it because we're not gonna do anything interesting with them. We're just gonna change their sizes. So let's begin by first of all placing them in the correct spots. Now this is not gonna be completely obvious because it depends on the amount of players.
Okay.
So we're gonna have to do some arithmetic here to figure out where they belong. You know what arithmetic is?
Math.
Yes, math, but basic math, like plus, minus, that sort of stuff. Nothing particularly difficult. Okay, so here's how many we have, and this is how we know how many we have, and we are going to place them, and we can do it right here. So let's think this through. Now the center point we know is 0. At least I think it is. Right now it's not even placed. Do we have any anchors or anything like that?
We have an
We have column spacing. This is important. We do not have any anchors that I see. That's why we put them at vector 3, 0, and that should be fine, because in the end of the day that's where the center is, right? So the only thing that we need to modify of it is the x. Right? We're gonna have to move them left or right by a certain amount. So let's think this through. Now we know that there's that 2, right? Suppose that you have 4 columns, right? You will need 2 on the left and 2 on the right. Okay, by how much do they need to go on the left? We know that they need to be
spaced.
We know they need to be spaced by 2 each, right? So therefore, if you go 1 on the left, it will be 2, and if you go another one on the left, it will be 4, right?
Yeah.
If you do it the other way on the opposite side, you're gonna have, well, so on the left you're gonna have -2, -4, and on the, well, rather -4, -2, and on the right you're gonna have +2, +4. But that's wrong, because the distance between the leftmost 2 is 2, and the distance between -2 and +2 is 4. So something's wrong. And what's wrong is you have an even number, right? Tell you what, let's bring up our buddy GIMP here. We've done this before in the game that we made, what's it called again?
Tanks?
No.
Guess who?
Dumb questions. Yes, guess who? Obviously, it's the one that actually has tiles that need to be spaced.
You're right.
Yeah, okay, I'll take care of it. So here we go. File, new. Alright, so let's observe our situation. So I'm gonna draw really, really ugly things, okay? And everybody's gonna bear with it, because I don't have a pen to draw. I have a mouse. Alright, so our situation is we only need to worry about one dimension, the x-axis. That's it. Okay, we know the center is 0. We're guaranteed to have that. Now suppose we have 3 players, okay? What we want to see is we want to see this, this, and this. We've already determined that the spacing between these is 2, right? Okay, now if the number is odd, clearly the one in the middle is going to be where?
0.
Right at 0. Okay, so therefore, because the spacing is 2, this one is guaranteed to be -2, and this one is guaranteed to be +2. Okay, so the first thing that we need to figure out is the formula for odd numbers, right? Now that's fairly easy. We take how much spacing, how many things we've got, which is 3 in this case, and we need to divide that number by 2, because we want it spaced half on one side and half on the other, right? Which is gonna give us 1.5, but this is an integer division. Therefore, if we divide 3 by 2, it's gonna give us 1. All right. So let's write this down. So n divided by 2, okay, which then leads us to a 1, because it's an integer. Oof, this is a 1 that people don't understand. I write my 1s like this because I'm weird. Okay, so this leads us to a 1. We can multiply this by the spacing. Okay, obviously we need to cast it as a float. Okay, and -1. That tells us how much to move to that side, and then we can just continue with increments. So the starting point is n divided by 2. N would be player number, player count. N divided by 2, okay, and then whatever we get, we multiply by minus spacing.
Okay.
Okay, so suppose, for example, that we have, actually it should be smarter, so let me do this again. Let's put a 0 here. Now I'm going to create a new layer, so when I delete things, I don't lose everything. Yeah. Okay, so now let's try 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, let's not figure anything out. Let's just use our formula. So the n is 5. 5 divided by 2 makes?
5 divided by 2 makes 2.
2. It's an integer division.
Because it's an integer division.
Yeah, ignore the remainder. Okay? So you get 2. Okay, and now you need to multiply this by negative of spacing. Okay? So this would give us minus 4. Therefore, this guy would be minus 4. Then we do each step, we do a 4, right, through all of them, and we just add the spacing, right? So we get 4 plus the spacing is minus 2, plus the spacing is 0, plus the spacing is 2, plus the spacing is 4. Okay.
That is work.
Our formula is working. Okay. Last test, just to try. Let's try with 7. Okay, so we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okie doke. So the n is 7. 7 divided by 2 is
3.
3. Okay, 3 multiplied by negative 2 makes minus 6. Float.
Yep.
Okay, so minus 6. Now increment by 2. Minus
That's
4.
minus 4. Minus 2. 0. 2. 4. 6.
Correctamundo. Okay, so this is still working. So let's now store our little formula somewhere else. So I'm going to create yet another layer. And I'm just going to write down the formula that we're then going to put into the code. Okay, so it's going to be a player count divided by 2. Okay, and all of this float. Okay, then this gets multiplied by minus displacement. Oh boy, this is going to be ugly. Okay, and this is the starting point. So sp.x equals this, right? The x of the starting point is this.
Yeah.
And then we can use this plus displacement for each eye, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. So this is for odd.
Yeah.
Okay, and we're gonna worry about even up there. Okay, even. Now this formula will still tell us a lot of things about even numbers too. So at least I think so. Okay, so let's hit delete now. Let's hit delete. Let's go back to our red color. All right, now suppose we have 2 players. One over here, one over here.
Now
Now nobody's sitting on 0. Okay, but we do know that this space is 2. Therefore, how much is this?
How much is the...
Is this little part, the left side of the arrow?
It's 1.
1. Okay, so the distance is 1. Okay, now 1 is half of 2. So that's already helpful, right? If we have an odd number, we could simply add a 1. So calculate as if it were an even number and then add a 1. That may work. So let's test it. So our n is 2, or maybe subtract a 1, I'm not sure, right? So our n is 2. We need to divide it by 2, just like using our original formula here, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then that gives us
1.
1, okay? And then we need to multiply this by negative of displacement. Okay, so let's try that out. So that will give us, up here, I'm going to write it, a minus 2. And for the next one, which we add, it gives us a 0. Okay, that's not what we want. We are correct in terms of spacing, but we find ourselves like this. And that's not what we want. We want them to be pushed to the right. Well, by how much?
By 1.
By 1. So once we've done all of this bit, we go plus, okay, displacement divided by 2. Again, float, obviously. So in this particular case, we're going to get a 1, right? So, if you add that 1, this one becomes minus 1,
and this one becomes a 1, and that's correct.
Okay, so let's write our preliminary formula here first. Okay, which would be PC, player count, divided by 2, casted as float, whatever, times negative displacement plus displacement divided by 2.
2.
Okay, cool. So let's try this again with red. Okay, now we're gonna make a 4. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna keep these, so I'm gonna just create a new layer. That is lazy. All right, so the n is 4. 4 divided by 2 makes
That's 2.
2. Multiplied by displacement, negative, so minus 4.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, adding half of displacement,
Which is 1.
So minus 4 plus 1 is
Minus 4 plus 1 is minus 3.
minus 3. Add the displacement.
That is minus 1.
Add displacement.
Plus 1.
Add displacement.
Plus 3.
Are we getting a symmetrical system here?
Yep.
Okay, good. Last test. We're gonna do the big one.
8.
Yes. All right. N is 8. Divided by 2 makes
That's 4.
4. Multiplied by 2, f.
4 times 2 minus 2f.
My bad.
That's minus 8.
Minus 8f plus 1/2. I keep on writing it differently all the time. 1/2 of 2f. How much is 1/2 of 2?
1/2 of 2 is 1.
Oof, congratulations. Minus 8 plus 1?
Minus 8 plus 1 is minus 7.
Yes. All right. So minus 7. Add displacement.
Add displacement minus 5.
Add displacement.
Minus 3.
Add displacement.
Minus 1.
Add displacement.
Plus 1. Plus 3. Plus 5. Plus 7.
Winning?
Yay.
Yes! Okie dokie. Here we go. So that's our formula. Brilliant. Let's go write it. So the first thing that we need is that starting point, and it's just a float. So we're going to create a variable on the fly here. We're going to call it float. Float. Start point. Or start x. Yeah, call it start x equals. Okay. So now we have that separation between evens and odds. Actually, I didn't mention this, but your daddy's a bit silly. Is there a way in which we can easily deal with evens and odds? Like, what's the difference between these two formulas? There's only one tiny little difference, which is this, right? So we need to add half of something, half of the displacement, if we're even. Isn't that fairly easy to do? We can check if the modular division of player count divided by 2. So if you do player count modulo 2, what will you get? Suppose that player count is 4. What's the modular division by 2? Do you remember?
So you need to have the remainder. 0.
Yeah, just give you the
0.
That's right. Whereas if you have 7, what's the modular?
The modular is 1.
1, right? So every time we have an odd number, we're gonna get a 1, or true, so to speak. And every time we have an even number, we're gonna get an odd.
Okay.
Right? So we could change our formula so it works for both by keeping the 1 for even, okay, and then subtracting the modular division, okay, the modular division of PC, okay, multiplied by displacement divided by 2f. Do you understand this? You probably don't. So remember that for even formulas, we need our n divided by 2, okay, multiplied by the negative of the displacement. Okay, that's fine. And then, because it's even, we need to add a displacement to f. Right. So if we add half the displacement by default, whether it's even or odd, obviously we're going to have a problem with the odds, right? But therefore, we could just remove right away the same displacement, so the same half of the displacement, okay, multiplied by the modular division. Because the modular division on evens is going to give us a 0, this becomes 0, so it will work for even. But if it's odd, the modular division is going to be 1. And therefore, it's going to be negative displacement minus 2, the negative displacement half, positive displacement half, they cancel each other out. And then this formula, this entire thing, would work for both evens and odds. Clapping hands gently. All right, good. So there we go. So start x equals, so n, that is gameplay player count. Copy all of this. Paste it here. Space. Divided by 2.
Is that the right one?
Yeah, 2. Close a bracket. Open it here. Now open another float. Close it. All right, save. So now we've got this lovely first bit, right? Now this needs to be multiplied by the podium column spacing. So copy this, paste. But we said it needed to be negative, so put a minus in front of it.
Divided.
No, that's it.
Multiplied.
That's nothing.
Oh, wait, this is odd.
Now, so the
Don't
order
we need to
even
add
doesn't
the
matter.
thing?
Slow down, slow down.
Don't we need to add the thing now?
One moment.
Okay.
We are here. We need to do this.
That.
All right.
So
So
the displacement divided by 2.
that's
so
right.
that's-
So plus space, paste again, divided by 2f.
2.
F, 2f. Okay. Now minus space, and now we're gonna do the modular division of this thing. So copy this entire thing, paste it here, change this to a percentage sign, which is Shift 5, and multiplied by. Copy all of this, paste it here, semicolon, save. That's it. That should give us a start in x.
Now I need to do
So-
the players.
Wait a second. So, no, we actually don't. This information is sufficient for us to use.
Oh,
it
you're
with
right.
the
We can
players
use it with the players too.
and the columns, right? So now, though, let's do it right away with all of our columns. So we're gonna take list podium columns. So copy this, paste it, square bracket, I, close square bracket, dot, transform, dot position equals. Okay, so wait, dot position. This is actually nice. So let's change that. Put dot x here. So we're just gonna modify the x and nothing else. Can we do it? Cannot modify the result. Rubbish. Save. Okay, then I'm gonna be cheeky. Well, plus equals. And here you write vector3 dot right. Okay, times. Open a round bracket, and now feed it start x. Now that's not enough because that's just the starting point, so we need to add something. What do we need to add? We need to plus. Remember where we do it every step. Every step we did the displacement, but times what?
Times the. We didn't multiply the displacement.
Yes, we did. You just didn't notice. Let's look at this. Right. So we said this. Okay. Let's do the function again because I kind of forget. So 4 divided by 2 equals 2. Multiplied by -2 equals -2. Plus modular division of 4, which is 0. So that doesn't count. No, rather, what am I saying? Plus 1/2 of 2, which makes -1, and then no negatives. So this one is no. What am I? Is your daddy crazy? Yes, he is. That's not a -2. That's a -4. Sorry about that. Okay, so -3. And then I did 1, and then we said 1, and -1, then 1 and 3, right? That's what we did last time. Remember that? Okay, so how did we get here, here, here? Right? We just added 2 every time. Yeah, but what does every time mean? In other words, if you look at these columns, what are their IDs? You really can't figure this out? This is really easy.
What do you mean by what are their IDs?
Oh, I mean, when you instantiate the columns, in what order do you put them?
You put them starting from 0, then you put
Yeah,
them
stop
there.
pointing at the screen. People can't hear
And then
you
you
point.
put them left to right.
to right. Okay, therefore, we start with this one. What's its iterator? What's the value of the iterator?
It's number 0.
0. This one?
Number 1.
Yeah, this one?
Number 2.
This
And
one?
number 3.
All right. So the original number that we had for the initial displacement was -3. Okay, so here it's -3 plus 0 times displacement, right? Which makes 0. But rather -3. Okay, good. Now 1 times 2f. What does 1 times 2f make? 2.
1 times 2f is 2.
So -3 plus 2 makes?
-3 plus 2 is -1.
Right. So here's what you're multiplying, right? You're multiplying the iterator by the displacement. Do you understand now, or do you not understand?
The iterator times the displacement.
Yeah, but do you understand it? That's what you did before as well. When you went here and you said -3, I'm going to add another 2, and then add another 2, and add another 2. You're doing it 1 time, 2 times,
2 times,
3
3
times. Well, rather 0 times, I suppose. And then 4 times, right? Now, adding something 0 times, that means you add nothing, which is accurate. Adding something 1 time, adding something twice, adding something 3 times. That's the result. Right? And the reason why all of this is happening is because you're actually adding this guy multiplied by how many times you're going through the cycle. Do you understand now?
Yep.
Okay. I believe you. Now let's go back to here. So start. So therefore, open a round bracket, float, close round bracket. No spaces.
No spaces.
Times podium colon spacing. Copy, paste. Semicolon. Okay, now
It
there's
doesn't want this semicolon. We forgot to close the bracket.
Okay, close it. So save. Now you see there's a bit of a cheeky thing I'm doing here, which is I'm using the shortcut vector 3 right to then multiply it by a float. Vector 3 right, what's its value?
Right would be this direction, so it's going in the plus way. So x is 1.
Right, and everything else is 0.
Everything else is 0.
Right, so if we multiply 1 by any number, we're going to get that number. If we multiply 0 by that number, we're going to get 0. Therefore, adding this vector to whatever our previous vector was should be automatically correct. So give this a save. All right, and now let's go and test it out first. Let's see if our formula works.
Now our cars shouldn't go there, but the columns should. We still have a debug on? I don't think
Should,
we
yeah.
do.
Should. There we go. Look at them. Lovely spaced.
Yes, but
Lovely how they are
weird.
spaced. Well, sure, the angle's wrong. We're going to deal with that later. Right, I'm not too concerned about the angle, but the point
They're
is they
nicely
are
spaced.
spaced evenly and correctly, and the center should be a 0. That's why you see it right here. So let's go and check real quick. -3, look up there. -3, -1, 1, 3. All right.
That's
so
perfect.
this guy's working. Let's try now with
An odd
3.
number, 3.
Yeah. So 3 players. Go back to the game manager.
Debug and again.
And they're spaced correctly. Again, we should have a -2, 0. Okay, there it is. -2, 0, +2. Winning!
Winning!
Our function works.
Okay,
Isn't
now
that-
we can do the same thing with the players.
We can. Let's do it right away. So, okay, so with the players, it's going to be a little bit more interesting because they must depend on the order from those lists that we calculated here. Here, these lists. So list game over sorted IDs gives list game over sorted scores, list game over sorted ordinals. So the first thing we're worried about is the sorted IDs. That's not an issue. So let's go here and we're gonna say we're already looping through the player count, so we can use this very loop right here, and we can say game manager dot script dot list of players square bracket. Now get ready because this is gonna look weird. List underscore and then I don't remember. Ooh. Did we make them private? Are they private? Well, no. Oh, I'm an idiot. Okay. Game manager dot script. I'm in the wrong class. Dot list underscore game over sorted IDs. Open a square bracket. I close the square bracket again. Okay, because that's how you find the correct one to put first. Okay, because we need this int first, and then we feed this into this array. Okay, and now dot transform dot position equals copy all of this, paste it here, save. Oh no, wait a moment. Don't our columns have a anchor? Yes, they do. I'm fairly sure they do.
Yeah, we did put an anchor last time.
Right, therefore we could just place them on the anchor, except we right now don't know it. So anyway, let's just save this and and
Deal
test
with it.
just for fun. I mean, the cards will now be inside the columns, but
They'll be inside the columns. That will be bad.
wham! There they are. Look at them. But they are correctly placed.
It's kind of funny.
All right.
They are correctly placed though. So
Good. Right. So
now we have to deal with the rotations and putting them on the top.
well, I mean, this is still really, really useful. So now we're just gonna put them on the anchors. But first, we are actually gonna need this podium column. So here, let's create a private transform.
Try. Keep putting that.
Yeah, that's because you keep on putting lower cases where you need upper cases and upper cases when you need lower cases. It's funny. Okay, transform, space, anchor, semicolon. Let me quickly check that we're not stupid. Are there any anchors here? No. But we could just have them here, couldn't we?
And then I wonder why podium column is here then.
Yeah.
It's not doing anything here.
Yeah, I agree. Oh, well, there's text on the column, but then again, we could just reach them from here. Whatever, man.
Bye,
That's
podium
it.
column. You're
It's
dead.
decided.
You're dead. Bye.
There
Pokemon.
ain't no more podium
Pokemon
column.
column.
So we're gonna remove you from here too before we get errors.
See ya.
And now we're going to delete you.
See ya.
Bye! Isn't it lovely how many times your dad changes his mind?
And don't forget about you forgot about the prefab. Oh wait, we don't need to delete the
we
prefab
keep-
this
we
time,
need to
so we
keep the
keep the prefab. Otherwise,
So-
that's bad.
Change this to transform. Obviously lowercase. So you make it as difficult as possible for it to figure out what you mean. Oh yeah. Copy this. Paste it here. Do we still need to get the component transform?
No.
No, we can use the shortcut, which is dot transform. So just transform. Lowercase, yes. Save. Okay. So we've got these done. Now we're going to create a list of anchors and then a list of text mesh pros for the numbers. Therefore, here we're gonna use text mesh pro. So we're using TM pro. Semicolon. Okay, and copy this, paste, and paste. Okay, so here you want to change, leave this as transform, change this to text mesh pro. Save. And this one is going to be list podium anchors. And this one's going to be list podium captions. Save. Okay. Now here we initialize this list. We need to initialize these two as well. So copy this, paste it, copy all of this, paste it, copy all of this, paste it, copy this, paste it, copy this, paste it, save. Okay. So that's done. And now we're going to say copy this and paste it here. Go dot add, open round. Now go this, copy. No,
Whoa.
undo. Copy, paste, I dot find, and now I don't remember. We need to go check. So just go find, open round.
Fine.
Just open round. It'll fix itself. Okay. So there we. What am I doing? Here. Prefabs. Podium column. Beep. Model container. Text container. Okay. So the anchor should be inside model container is my bet. Model container. Model anchor. Okay. So we need to look through model container, model anchor. I'm lazy to type all of this, so copy this. All right. Now quote, paste, slash, model, slash, anchor. Close quote, close round again, semicolon. Okie dokie. So that's done. Now copy this, paste it here, copy all of this, paste it here. Now this is wrong for sure, and we need to go take a look. So it's under text container right away, text position. That's really, let's copy this because I'm lazy. Okay, paste it here, change this to the word text. Now this is insufficient because this is different data type. So what we need to do is we need to do dot get component, open round, open of type, and here you want to say text mesh pro. Close that, open round, close round, save. All right, so we got them all. Got them all. Not bad, not bad. So all we need to do now is we need to place them on the anchors. So copy this, and should we make it into children? I think that would make sense. So we are going to say, instead of position here, type parent. Parent, yeah, equals, paste this, I, dot, oh no, that's it actually, yeah, save. And now what we're gonna have to do with these is we're going to have to reset the transform. So copy this, paste it here, and here you say local position this time because it's a child now. So local position, okay. Dot equals vector 3.0 semicolon. Okay, now copy this entire thing, paste, and again local rotation and local scale. So the scale needs to be 0 or something else.
The scale is the size, so it needs to be taller.
What? It's the size of the car.
The size of the car
What's
is
the-
0, 2. It's the normal size of the car,
So
which
it's not
is
0.
1, I think.
Yeah,
I
let's
don't
try
know
one.
what the size
So
of the car is. So,
let's try one. Oh no,
whoopsies.
it's a shortcut. So O and E.
One.
Yeah. So that means 1, 1, 1. And for the rotation, we can't use vectors. Quaternion dot identity. Well, we can, but
For now.
it's more complicated. Quaternion dot identity.
For now.
So this may be wrong. We'll find out. Right? Okay. So save. Now the cards have been placed. Now what we can do right away is we can deal with the captions as well. So copy this, paste it here.
Whoa.
I dot set text. Set text. Yeah. Open round. And now we need we need a number, and that number depends on another list that we have in the game manager. Okay, so it's gonna be game manager dot script dot list, and it's gonna be sorted ordinals. That's the one. They're probably not ordinals even, but whatever. Open square bracket, I close square bracket dot to string. It's already there, banana. Open close round, semicolon, save. Okay, let's go test. Yes, we're gonna do it with 4.
Apparently, don't forget about this.
I forgot the podium column just sitting there. Hello. No biggie. No biggie. 4 players. Game manager. Clickety click.
Turn.
Whoa!
Whoa! Big fat cars.
Perhaps Vector 3.1 wasn't a great idea. Let's
It
go
was funny though.
take a look at what the situation is.
It was kind of funny
So
though.
text position. Okay, now you see that the position is 0, 1, 1. That's correct actually. You see? Because they're supposed to be first, second, 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 because the others never moved, never did anything. Now obviously the wrong bit is we need to add a +1, but that's an easy fix. Right? The issue is, where is a little car? There it is.
Which is a very big car.
So the reason why the car is getting all weird is because we made a mistake. Did we? No. So the model container is moving the model up, and that's fine. But the car is now the wrong size. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna make a very, very easy tiny change. Instead of local scale, okay. Remove this entire line. So we're not even changing its scale. We may do it later, we'll see. Save, because you don't have access to scale. There's only local scale. It's the only property that doesn't exist world. I guess because it doesn't make any sense that way. But now i2string, that's fairly easy. Open a round bracket right here. Put a space +1 here. Or equals, if you like better. Close round. Now you need a space here. Save. Okay. And this should have fixed it all.
Fix that.
Fix that, Daddy.
Now I have to wait for this and that and that. No.
Game manager. Oof, we're kind of running out of time.
Let's
we
at
go.
least finish.
Oh yeah, cards is still all weird. Well, at least one. What the?
Why is that guy all stretchy?
Yeah, well,
This guy's all stretchy and fat, and this guy, they're all weird.
yeah, no, but we didn't change the local scale, did we? I'm definitely confused by this. It makes no sense because we just literally removed the. Oh, is our friendly Dropbox being funny again? I don't know, but it doesn't make any sense that we would have these weird things. We haven't changed the scale, so it doesn't make any sense. Wait a second. Is there a local scale anyway? No. Local rotation, local position. It should have maintained whatever its scale was. Okay, let me experiment a little bit. I don't understand, frankly. This seems strange. Da-da-da-da. Plus 5,000. Alright, so podium, model, anchor, player. So if we simply go 1, hit tab, 1, tab, 1. There we go. There's our stretchy guy. Right? And the reason why it's stretchy is because your podium column can go up and down. Well, we have made it into a child, so
That could be it.
that is it. So, okay. So here's what we're gonna do.
Unchild it.
Yes, we're gonna remove this entire line over here.
Bye.
See ya. Now wait. Local position needs to change to position. Put a P.
Position. There.
Yeah. Oh, actually, whatever. So copy this. Paste it here. Dot. And you go dot. No, I. Daddy.
Is breaking things.
I. Dot position. Yeah. Save. Rotation. Copy all of this. Paste it here. Rotation. Save. And that should be sufficient. So let's try now.
Now it should be a real size of the real car, and then we need to rotate some things.
Oh, Ta-da! Okay, so the rotation is wrong by like a 90-degree angle. So I'm fairly sure if we take all of these cars and we just sort of change the Z, I guess. 90.
What about...
No, undo.
what about...
Try the Y. No, undo. Try the X. Yay! Okay, now they're giving us the bum, which is lovely. So we can do 90, and then we can rotate them on the Y by 180. Whoops, wrong one. Try Z. Whoops, wrong one. Try both. So it's probably this one 90, this one 0. I can never remember. Or all of them 90. No, that's still wrong. Negative 90.
So giving us the bum.
No, they want to show us the bum. I don't know what the trick is going to be. I guess 270 and then 180. There.
There. No more bum.
Now facing us. Okay.
Copy the transfer component.
Huh?
Copy the transfer component.
Sure. Well, no, I don't need to. We can just...
Remember.
Okay. So right now these are still wrong. So all we're gonna do is we're just gonna fix those guys, the columns themselves, and all we're gonna do to do that is just use the transform.rotation. So podium.com. So copy this, paste it here. Actually, no, undo again. Save. Say transform. I don't know why I'm doing it here. Transform.rotation. Save. Okay, so I'm giving it the rotation of the game over screen, assuming that will work, but I don't think so. I'm fairly sure the game over. Yeah, I thought so. It would be the board. Yeah, no, that won't even. That's stupid. Is there a board here? No. So there is a podium container though.
And I
it's
think
called
that's
board podium container. That's the one. So copy this, paste it here, save. Unless it expects it to put them there. I don't really think we need to. Whatever. The problem is we are messing around with the angles of things as opposed to changing the camera angle, which we badly should. There we go. Okay, it's not too bad. The thing is correct, but
the cars are going in.
They're too high, right? So if we make them into children, they won't be too high, and it'll be okay. The cars are also too small. We need to make them bigger, but that's not a big deal. So here you're going to say copy this, paste it here. I dot parent equals. Whoa, my bad. Undo. Copy equals. First equals. Space equals. The other way around. Space, remove, semicolon. Save. Okay. And now we're gonna say all of this is basically irrelevant. So copy this. Add an L first. So L paste. Okay. Dot position. No, not position, the local position. No, that does it matter? Wait, it should matter. No, wait a minute. It needs to be local, but it's done here. It's done right here. Transform.position. Okay, change this to local position. Okay, so there's where we're doing that, and we're gonna do all of this down here. So cut this and paste it here. Save. Okay. And now we need to deal with the local rotation. So we're going to say copy all of this, paste it here, go local rotation equals, and you go quaternion.identity, semicolon. Now the reason why a rotation of 0 should work is because we're now the child of the container. So if the container is correctly rotated, then we should get the things to be placed in the right place.
Okay.
Let's find out.
And then we gotta make the cars a little bigger.
We were worried about that some other time. It's not important now.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're still wrong, and the reason why this is because they're placed wrong in the first place. And here we're doing plus equals vector 3, right? Remove this plus. That's it.
And then J should be on the ground.
Yeah. if
Maybe
my...
we could bring them a little bit farther forward. No, otherwise there won't be room for more. Sorry.
That's okay. No big deal. There they are.
I like how our game looks.
Okay.
The start of it, the gameplay. I like the gameplay.
Okay, sounds good. So these are looking fairly nice. Now the one thing that I want to do before we go, should we do it now? Is I'd like to figure out the formula between. That's actually fairly easy to do in terms of how high our columns should be, and it's really fairly simple. So wait, we need to check which part of the column we need to modify the size of, and I think it's directly on the parent object. So game manager board, no, rubbish. Hit debug, please. Boink. There we go. Board, podium container, podium column. There's the first column. Okay. Now the first column has the model container is the guy that needs to increase or decrease in size. Okay. So we said that the maximum was 20 and the minimum was 10. Now the text should stay there. I guess. Yeah, I guess we can move that up too, but whatever. Next time, if we're doing this stretch goal, right? So in order to move it up, we need a lerp.
And we also need that car to move.
I didn't check which one it was. Wait, I can do it here.
We need to move the car too.
Z. Yeah, we'll worry about that later. So Z, the local scale. So you want to copy all of this.
Okay.
Paste it here, and you go local scale, yeah, equals, so it's going to be, let me think for a moment, so here are the column sizes. We can actually do this a little bit different. Yes, so copy all of this, paste it, undo, space, podium, column, podium, column, max size equals 20 float. Copy it again, paste it, and you go remove the word max and put the word delta here. Put a 10.
That's the minimum.
We can remove all of this. Save. Okay, so the max size, then we can go down from it. We can say the formula will be max size minus iterator. Well, not iterator, rather, the ordinal of the iterator, okay, which is going to be 0, 1, whatever, right, multiplied by, I guess, right, multiplied by the ordinal divided by the ordinal divided by the maximum amount of players, which will give us a percentage. And then we can use that as the control factor for the lerp. Well, assuming we'd even need a lerp. No, we just multiplied that by 10. All right, good. Sorry, I was thinking loud, but you'll see now and I'll explain it in a moment. So local scale equals, and this one is going to be new vector 3, open round, 1F, comma, 1F, comma, and this is where the fun starts. So you go podium max, column max size, paste, minus, you need this, so copy all of this. Cast as a float first, so open round, say float, close round, paste, okay. Ordinals I multiplied by And this one is going to be open a round, open another round, float, close the round, and open another round. Wait, am I dumb? Am I being dumb? It's possible. I think I'm being dumb. Yes. Go divided by, and now float again.
So many floats.
I know. Close. And it's this thing. Copy all of this. Paste it here. Paste it. Oh, damage. Copy this. Paste it here. Times podium size delta. Copy this. Paste it here. Close round. Semicolon. Now let me think this through for just a second. So the ordinals start at 0, meaning we never reach the absolute maximum of the player count. We only reach one under it. Therefore, open a round bracket here. Close the round bracket here. Put a -1, space -1. Two spaces and a multiply. That's going all sorts of wrong. Yeah, save. Okay. So now suppose we have 4 players. This one is going to be 3. The ordinals can only get up to 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1. Okay, that should work.
Come on, work.
Whey!
Why?
Well, it has worked.
Too much.
Just in a-
Look at the.
Okay, so what's the situation? Oh no, it's actually accurate. The problem is the 20 is way too high.
Too high.
Oh right, and we are dumb. It's not that it's way too high. We're modifying the size of the wrong thing. We're supposed to modify the size of the model container, not that thing. So last thing we're gonna do today: copy all of this, paste it here. Go list podium model containers. Save. Copy all of this, paste it here, copy all of this, paste it here, copy all of this. There. Copy all of this. It's a bit too much, but it's fine. Paste it here and remove these. Save. Now copy this, and we are going to say, instead of transform, we're going to say remove this transform, paste this here. Actually, now that I think about it, these don't need a transform because they are transforms. Save. Okay, and does this need a transform? Yes, it does because it's a player. Okay, boop. That'll work. Do it. Do the funky chicken.
Yeah.
Okay, so.
You press mute audio?
Oh, I didn't mean that. I meant this. It's working. Let me take a screening of this for later use.
And for the bed players.
Yeah, you know, they're all weird. Okay, well, thanks very much for watching, everyone, and hopefully we'll finish next time. Game over. Coming along okay. Talk to you later. Bye.
See ya.